All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Fastest Furs Fall Fest 2025. We are here all weekend long raising money for Trans Lifeline, and we are so excited to have you all here. I'm Moonblaze Wolf. You can call me Blaze. And I'm just here as a representative of the leadership team to kick off the marathon and introduce our first run. But before we do that, I just want to say really quickly to all of you watching, thank you for being here. Please help spread the word. Please donate if you are able. Um, it seems like something we have to say every year, and it really sucks, but it's true. Trans Lifeline and the work that they do is more important now than it has ever been. And we really, really appreciate your support. And we're looking forward to a really exciting, fantastic weekend with a lot of wonderful speedruns so that we can raise a ton of money for them. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first run. We have Flannels, 20%. Flen, take it away.
Yeah, howdy everybody. It's me, your boy Flannel. Who's Flen? Hi you guys. I hope you guys are doing great today. He, I'm really excited to be here for be the first run of the day. And we're starting a little bit early, so you know what? Let's have kind of almost a subtle start of the event. Nah, I'm just kidding. This is gonna be a banger, baby. So this is Mega Man X2. We're gonna play in Japanese because it's gonna be just a little bit faster. So no worries. But today I'm also joined by two lovely commentators, Tempest Steve, Tempest Mask. Please introduce yourself. Tempest?
I think we got a little bit of a mute on Tempest, unfortunately. I'll go first while we're waiting for that.
Okay. All right, then our other commentator, the Sid. Please introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm Tempest +1. I've run X2 and X3 in the past. X2 specifically, I always was like, nope, we're going to go show Ryukin list. So you can see my time down there at the bottom of the leaderboard. It's nice 46XX. Hopefully it's good enough to commentate an actual good run.
No game audio. What is going on? What do you mean no game audio?
It's a marathon start, cursed as can be.
Lovely.
All right, here I am. Sorry about that technical difficulties, folks.
I think the game is a little
There
bit
we are.
on
Hi.
the screen there.
Now go ahead and say hi, Tempest. Looks like we got a couple of seconds to sort out a little bit of.
Gotta sort out some things. Seems the
All right, yeah.
The whack.
Yeah, it's
Howdy, everyone. My name is Tempest Mask 1000. Some of you know me as Steve, and yeah, I'm very happy and honored to be joining Flen for some wonderful Mega Man X alongside Sid, who I just can't seem to get rid of these days. But yeah, it's been a while since I've done something for Fastest Furs, and I'm grateful for Flen having me on here. And yeah, this is going to be a wonderful speedrun, I tell you. Also, apologies for any potential issues on my end. This is not my usual setup. We're just trying something a little bit new due to timing circumstances, but I'm going to do my best for the commentary's sake.
Also, I think the game is a bit cropped there on the stream. On like the top, it's cutting some parts of like the right and the top of the screen.
Yeah, it is a little bizarre.
It's a little bit weird. So if maybe we could see that, we could start.
Might be easier if we just get to like the intro, and then that way they have a good crop to go against. So it's full screen.
Say that again.
My best guess, like, is somebody that's run a marathon. Let's just go to a gameplay screen so they actually have the full size, just to make sure it's top to bottom, rather than the intro, which changes all the time.
Okay. So yeah, all right. Let's get this game started. The timing will begin once I hit to start the game. And let's just count us down here in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go!
All right, just remember, everybody.
First off,
oh
07's for Green Biker Dude.
Green Biker Dude, no! Oh, he was our friend.
We didn't hit the donation incentive soon enough. RIP.
At the very start of the marathon already. No, we're good though. We're all chilling and we're all doing fine. This is Mega Man X2. This is probably one of the most speed performance intensive speed runs of the Super Nintendo trilogy, and for good reason. You're
I
seeing
think.
Flen see it. You're seeing Flen start off, excuse my grammar, already. Actually, Sid, feel free to explain the basics for me. Go ahead.
Sure, sure. So X2 and X3 and X all share a specific thing that everybody refers to, dash lemons. You'll see here that we're dashing and then shooting just a normal shot and then shooting a charge shot here. The dash lemons, for whatever reason, do a higher bit of damage in X1 and 2 to everything. X3, it's only enemies. But it allows us to buffer our charge shots in such a way that we optimally kill the guy here. And also we manage to land on the top platform so we don't lose time warping all the way from the bottom to the top. Pretty clean fight.
Clean.
It's another one of those, I just don't have enough time to explain it. It's too good.
This game is a bit fast, so well, really fast, especially when things go right. So don't feel bad about it.
Yeah, let's see if I get the rust off quick enough. This
We'll
is
catch up later.
Yeah.
Iron Head Marl. Oh my goodness, I forgot about how silly Sponge's name was in Japanese.
Mr. Spongeman.
Yeah, for those who don't know, I'm a Mega Man Extreme 2 runner, so I very much recognize enough of these Mavericks in the game, but also to the point that I also feel weird when I see their Japanese name.
Celine?
So the big kicker about Mega Man X2 as a speedrun starting things off is that any percent is a bit of a unique nuance as compared to most Super Nintendo Mega Man X games. The big kicker here being that you're going to see Flen do a lot of collecting, much to the point that you might as well be thinking, wait, is he actually running 100%? But no, not exactly, and there's a very good reason for this. So after our second of the Maverick stages, you'll notice a few shifters that we saw after stage. They're going to start appearing around the map and all that jazz, and the big kicker here is those are the X-Hunters. And what's going to happen with them is they are carrying Zero's body parts for some strange reason or another. Not sure why they would do that. Maybe he may or not have to do something with the final stage, who knows. But yes, basically any percent doesn't necessarily mean you're collecting everything. And that's also going to be very handy because this means we get to use a very, very secret weapon in the late game to make the bosses go just to the dinosaurs or some strange term that I was going to try and come up with on the fly.
Sponge, why you gotta be like this? So
yeah, Sponge?
With Sponge, ideally here we want to use these dash lemons to chip through the HP as quickly as possible. Once Sponge hits a certain breakpoint, it'll always go into that raised phase where it shoots the lightning bolts. But as long as its wire is clipped into the ceiling, it won't do that. So you're trying to kill it before triggering that phase, but sometimes you just don't get the right pattern, which is one of the major reset points for X2, making it very rough for a lot of runners.
Yeah, the pattern you're looking for with Sponge is the one that he hangs from the ceiling and stays like shooting some seeds. That's the best pattern you can get. He did that at the start, but later he just didn't do anything at all.
Yeah, you almost get afraid when you see it at the start. You're like, no, don't do this to me.
Yeah, pretty much, because he's completely invincible during that angry phase, so it's just a big, big time waster. Extreme 2 also reflects this behavior as well, and yet despite all that, we are just starting off as him all the same. Also, shoutouts to Tokyo, Dino Jams in the chat.
Dino Jam?
Yeah, the X2 runners are a wild bunch. They can just grind this game out relentlessly. I got to give it to them. Not a single one of them has taken a shortcut with this game.
Pick up the arm parts, double charge shots. I'm gonna try to do a cool movement here. Try to like wall jump off the capsule. Hold on. Hey.
So unnecessary.
But it's so cool.
Luckily,
Yeah, the game, this is one of the Super Nintendo games, so they usually do a demonstration for a very important part after you've collected it, and that's basically what Flen was trying to use, like a little vulnerability period, English is
Nice.
hard, to do that little trick.
yeah,
Very nice damage boost on the spikes.
the Buster has like a really weird property in both this and X3, where if you hit jump and shoot at the same time, you can actually get a grounded jump out of it. So you can get double jumps, triple jumps. It becomes way more important with the dash boots as well, because we can extend it and get a lot more length, height, a bunch of different things. But right there on that demo, fortunately, it's free as can be. As long as you're holding jump, you'll get that little pop off. It's a good little showcase for what you can do with the Busters at a very optimized level in X2 and X3. Also, wire is extremely good for fast movement here because you can yank yourself into walls for very little weapon energy. It's a very big part of optimal movement in this game.
I will now ask for some silence because we all know the Gator strat. So please, hold on, Chad. Nice.
Nice.
Oh!
Very nicely done. Yeah, Wheel Gator can be a bully. Yeah.
There's really no reason to not be worried about that.
Two of the most objectives.
Briefly, what happened there?
Yeah, because
when you hit him with his weakness, which is the strike chain, the weapon from Sponge, there is like this little animation that he will always do before diving. In like a 5-frame window or something, you can still hit him before he dives. And if you have good timing, you can just stun lock him and kill him like that. It is really hard.
At reset point 2 in the X2 speedrun.
Yep.
It's a very clean Buster grab too, only one retry, especially in a marathon setting.
Yeah.
Now for the difficulty spike. There's a couple of different routes to get rid of those counter hunters that we were talking about that actually fly around with the zero parts. We don't need the zero parts for the category we're particularly doing. And for the most part, they're just kind of an annoyance. Every time they come into the stage, they waste a certain amount of time warping from boss room to boss room. So our big goal is to get them despawned as quickly as possible by either having them in a stage that we're doing and finishing the stage to keep them from spawning again, or beating them in the stage. This category, we're definitely not bothering to fight them. It's a waste of time.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, they only really serve to give you the zero parts, which only really changes a aspect of the final stage. And even then, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're 100% in the game just by getting all the collectibles this way. Therefore, the nuance of any percent being you're not getting everything. Some runners also call it the good ending category, and for fair reason, obviously.
Yeah, we try to come up with some sort of way to identify the difference between the two here. We do a really specific thing here to get rid of that Buster shot on the way in, just to set up for a very specific part of this fight. This is actually called the Buster Duel with Stag. The easier routes come in here with the bubble and just unlock him in the corner. Unfortunately, that leaves the X-Hunters warping a lot longer, so there's been an invention of the Stag third route to get rid of him quickly and get us on to the next part. This is going to be a little bit of an easier version. Normally, you'll wind your way up to the very top of the this whole chasm and then drop back down to get immediate and like really fast damage on Stag, but this is still pretty decent because it gets rid of the X-Hunters faster. Unfortunately, this Buster Duel is pretty hard.
Yeah, Stag is one of those bosses that if you are not too careful of close proximity, he can do some gnarly damage to you. It's fairly equivalent to Magma Dragoon in Mega Man X4 in that way. So, yeah, just be mindful of his moves and the potential reads you could get out of him.
There's one particular one, too, that'll grab you and then slam you after taking you a bit up the wall and then back down. Gets a lot of damage and a lot of time loss. But I guess we kind of glossed over the X-Hunters. They only show up after the first two stages, so this route's pretty much optimized to get rid of them as soon as they show up.
Yeah. Because the thing about... Yeah, they want to cause trouble. No, yeah, you can go ahead.
It's more of a design decision. I think it might, where they're just like, all right, we're going to make sure you have some reasonable amount of power. Oh,
Ooh.
rocked by the block.
Unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
That's what they do. That is their job.
Blockman before Blockman in Mega Man 11, eh?
Yeah, this stage, going fast in this stage looks really cool, but it's not as easy as a lot of runners will make it look.
Yeah.
And man, is it spooky.
Like I said, this is probably the most performance-intensive when it comes to the Mega Man Super Nintendo games, and for good reason. There's just a lot of movement, a lot of risky movement potentially, but fast movement all the same, because by defeating Flame Stag, we also get the Speed Burner, and the Charge Shot is essentially a mid-air dash, or an extra one at that, because once we do get the leg parts from the leg capsule, we will be getting a natural air dash, but even then, we're still going to be using the Charged Speed Burner to get those extra mid-air movements going, and... yeah, even then we also still have the wire sponge weapon to just cling to walls and pull us closer to fast, like Sid mentioned earlier.
A little bit more annoying than it needs to be. Whenever you get caught by those scan blocks, it speeds up the fall rate. Oh, that's going to make these rooms awful.
Now the mini boss is gonna be. Oh my god! This stuff that I'll say that's never happened before.
Yeah, it do be like that.
I'm sorry, Flen, it's because I'm commentating.
Dang it.
Blue mini boss. Oof.
I think he also gets more health. I don't remember.
I think, yeah.
Yeah.
The mini boss gets a little bit extra health here. The real reason we don't want to get scanned isn't mainly the HP. It's those blocks in the previous room. It starts generating more and they fall faster, so they just lag the room massively hard. And we want to keep the burner so that we can do a couple of air dashes here. So even though it's the mini boss's weakness, we don't want to burn all of it, as it makes movement here a lot better.
Yeah, basically. And now coming up to Magnus Centipede. So this boss is going to have a bit of, I guess you could say, hopscotch going on, where we're going to be trying to lure him into the corner and have a certain attack going about where Flen will continue to rail him with charge shots. A little fun fact about this guy is that, like with certain Mega Man X bosses, the first time you hit him with his weakness, a unique reaction happens, which causes the tail to completely break apart. That's not what we wanted to see, unfortunate.
We do want to see that attack just while he's on the floor.
Yeah, basically.
So a little grab there will actually inflict like a poison to us that'll give us basically a status debuff. Oh, nice.
Okay, took a while, but that's a glitch.
Yeah, there we go.
If you scrape on the wall a very specific way, you can get the targeting on these little tails to tweak out so that you can just kind of stand there and be like, ah, that's cute, and then just bully the boss.
Ideally,
Also,
do that first thing in the fight, but I got kind of trolled. That's what Centipede does. That's reset point number 3.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a rough life out here.
Yeah.
The run really only starts after Centipede, if you ask me.
No attachment till you're Encounter Hunter. That's just how it goes.
Oh gosh, yeah. Mega Man X2. Long story short, we start with the big bad ones, and then it gets a little easier, kind of, from here on.
The thing with Magnus Centipede is his weakness would break the tail, but it makes him warp a whole ton, so it's like it's super, super awful for like a speed run. So that's one of the few bosses where we use the half weakness, which is actually the chain, which will do more damage, but won't inflict the other issue. Nice fly.
Yeah, we now are introduced to, well, okay, technically we were introduced to it via the Wheel Gator stage, but the ride armor here in Mega Man X2 has a nice new little upgrade where you got the hover packs, the flight ability, and it is pretty handy dandy. It's also a very punchy mech.
Yeah.
Nice.
Had to let you focus a little for that one. But yeah, as I was saying, so it's a lot more punchier than the first, especially because it has spikes on the hands, which makes it, what's the phrase, 20% cooler or something like that? I don't know, I had to pull that one out from the archives somehow, okay? But yeah, it's a really neat mech. I also give a quick shout out to community member Wolf Shadow, she is a huge nerd for the specifics and the names of the ride armors and chasers, and it's kind of made me want to do the same now, which I did for Mega Man X7, so there you go.
Mm-hmm.
But with all that aside, the whole the whole idea of Crystal Snail as a stage is using the slope maneuvers, the momentum of the slopes, and enhancing the dash to that immense amount of speed you've been seeing Flen go through from point A to point B, and just trying to make these gnarly jumps that could otherwise potentially run you into kill zones.
Yeah, because the slopes have kind of weird property, and if you move on them the right way, you get a much higher jump. But in this instance, we're mainly just using the momentum to shoot off. This is a very weird application of the Buster. If you actually can get rid of the shot at the right time, you can buffer a lemon in there. And we do that specifically because it optimizes the damage here. It's kind of goofy, but trust me, that's how it's supposed to work.
Easy as pie.
Yeah, sure, dude. Whatever you say.
It looks easy, but is it? Nope.
It is easy once you wrap your head around the inputs.
Yeah, it's once you spend 10 hours practicing it.
Yeah, as we're moving into our next Maverick, I'd say this is a good time to get our host in on the action. So, Ophelia, if you've got anything you'd like to say, go right ahead.
I have so much I would love to say. I actually have quite a bit of love already coming in for you and this run, but I just wanted to say hello to everybody. Hi, I'm Clockwork Ophelia, and you are watching Fastest Furs Fall Fest 2025 in support of Trans Lifeline. Mission of Trans Lifeline is to connect trans people with the community support and resources that they need to survive and thrive. They envision a world where trans people have a connection, economic security, and care that everyone needs and deserves. Free of police, emergency responders, and prisons that disproportionately inflict violence and mistreatment on trans individuals. Since 2014, Trans Lifeline operators have answered over 100,000 calls from their peers, and we fully support the mission Trans Lifeline to help and empower trans people through the power of community and a shared lived experience. To learn more, please visit www.translifeline.org. I know this is a really, really intense run, so I don't want to interrupt too much, but when you have another moment, I would love to read off some donos for you because I have a couple of people who have quite a bit of love for you, Flen.
Oh my goodness.
We definitely have a second here while we're shooting this rocket.
Well, specifically, Regal Brash sends in a $10 dono, and it says, "Go win, Flen. You can have your Woody Woodpecker statue back if you win."
I'm doing it. You better keep your promise free.
And
Yeah,
that
what a
actually
bad time to
goes
take a
towards
drink.
our secret dog ending incentive for our upcoming Superliminal run. So please assign your donations to an incentive. We would love to get that met.
Yes,
Oh,
absolutely.
the Crystal Hunter strat. I forgot this was a thing.
Crystal Hunter strat. It went a little whack, but I tried. I practiced, I swear. It went by a bit fast, but the stage you just saw, you probably saw, it was just bike action. You just hold down.
Yeah, it's a bike stage. It's hard casually to hit the right jump timing, but once you get used to it, it's pretty good. There's actually like a pretty decent visual guide with like a little bit of just a PNG with a couple of jump here button. But
Yeah.
the boss is really unique. There's a lot of bosses in the Mega Man X series. There's almost like one in every game that their weakness will cause some weirdness with their iframes. So what happens is Ostrich is weak to the Crystal Hunter, but actually becomes damageable before he fully exits the freeze animation. So we're trying to go for double hits there, and then that way we could kind of double dip on the high damage of Crystal Hunter without having to wait out the extra freeze animation. We only got about half of them, but it is surprisingly hard to hit those. Nice!
Nice jump.
Awesome.
Oh boy, every day I see that, I look like I feel like a scrub.
These don't put yourself down like that. Come on, man. We're here for some good vibes and good vibes only. No.
So this is the slope jump application I was actually yapping about. Walking down that slope will actually give us a higher jump, and then on top of the water we get a really high jump, so we can actually jump off that left wall and get a nice little air dash to kind of loop around. You're supposed to use the charged bubble, which is the weapon you get from the boss here, to go back and pick up these upgrades, but the community has found several inventive ways to not do that because it's boring.
I will say a quick addendum to the ostrich stage, because that was the only time we see the ride chaser. Yeah, no Mega Man X game after X2 gets you a ride chaser control set just like that one. From here on out, it goes downhill. Let's just cut to the chase. And speaking of cutting to the chase, here's Wheelgator's weapon on Bubble Crab.
Oof. This is another weird one. You're trying to actually jump over Bubble Crab and hit it with the pedals, and then the little wheel thing kind of disappears, the center cog. It's actually still there for a little bit of time, so if you time it out properly, you can get a double hit out of that, which is 10 damage instead of 5. It's basically a lot of like optimizing double dips on bosses that make this run so tight and neat.
So now we've got one Maverick left, and I dare say we've saved the best for last. Oh no! Bubble Crab 2 Electric Boogaloo. No worries, we have the exit feature. We are chilling.
We can exit this. We can exit the stage. So it didn't go up. What the heck?
That is probably like the least offensive way to mess up, honestly. That could be a lot worse.
That was already beaten. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some where like you kind of glitch or want to double dip on a stage, and then if you go into a stage with a boss, you can't escape. You have to finish it or die. And some stages you can get out of it real quick, and some you're just like, well, I have thrown the run. Nice, Crystal Hunter. Yeah, we did a lot of really neat stuff to get to this heart, and it was also really awful. The Crystal Hunter there is the intended method, and oh gosh, it's so much better. Hey, cool, the lag upgrade.
Lag.
You get a nice little armor.
The gear crash is cool, okay?
It is. I just wish it wasn't so bad. So this upgrade will refill as we take damage, and in theory, it's really good. In function, it's awful. But it will cut our damage, which is the main part that we like. Also, we're collecting all of the things -0, so that we can get access to something a little bit late. Anybody that's familiar with X2 runs knows exactly what we're yapping about. But for now, we'll play like we don't know what we're talking about.
It's a surprise, Chad. It'll make sense later. Hold on.
Nice kill. A lot of these like quick kills on enemies look really, really simple when you watch a runner do it, but once you start trying to practice it yourself, initially it really is like, oh, please stop. Also, these rooms are kind of laggy too, so this is a bit spooky.
X2 is a very laggy game.
Yeah, they kind of went overboard with the enemies, even though they added the coprocessor. It's just not enough. These little green guys are our nemesis, and what did we get here? We got Jumpy Boy. It could have been worse. Way worse.
Yeah, the way those bugs work is that once they grab onto X, they can start to do weird things to him. Let's put it that way.
Yep. Either fire, jump, dash. I want to say there's a fourth, but it's probably just those three, and I'm forgetting.
No, it's fire, jump, and dash. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. So they just turbo those buttons for you, which, in theory is neat until you realize it wastes all your flame wheel in 5 seconds flat. And you really need it here.
And now for the coolest boss in Mega Man history, dare I say.
Bruh, do this guy without armor and say that. I dare you.
Okay, fair enough. Transformation!
Yeah, the reason I'm pointing out some of these things is back when we ran this, I ran a fake category without the item that we're trying to get later. Because I just couldn't utilize it properly. And a lot of these things are super scary when you're like, yeah, you know what? I only need the Buster upgrade. That's it. Wrong. Very wrong.
That was Morph Boss. That was a very fast boss fight.
Oh, yeah, or Metamor Moth Menos or something like that. Anyway,
Moth Menos.
So we're going to be going into the final stages. Yeah, it's going to be more quick platforming, more fast stuff. Not really much to write home for now, so Ophelia, take it away. Ooh. Actually, we'll give the host just a moment. Sid, go ahead.
Yeah. This final stage is kind of a variety show of all the cool things we've gotten. There's a lot of really neat applications of both the burner dash to get double air dash, the chain to get extra pull. We can use a lot of these abilities to kill some of these guys pretty quickly. The reason we want to kill these doofuses is once they start pulling the wall, they generate a massive amount of lag. And also, like, we try to burn over, like that. You may have noticed there was a little bit of lag there. The flame wheel is actually kind of unique where it'll drop some fire on the floor. And that fire in certain situations can just lag the game to all heck and back. So it's a bit of an unfortunate thing that we fired too close to the floor. But we will have a good chance to yap here because this guy is weak to bubble and we don't have to do anything.
That's why.
So now we get to
best boss
actually...
in the series.
Yeah, best boss in the series. I'll agree with you on there.
Let's kick it over to the host, I think, actually.
Yeah, Ophelia, you got anything?
Oh, I do, and I actually remembered to unmute myself this time. I have a $20 donation from the G Groove that says, wait, this is X2? Where's Wolverine and Lady Deathstrike? Hee.
Lady Deathstrike? That's a new one for me.
Yo!
And I would also love to thank for that wonderful bomb of gift subs that have just come in the chat. Thank you so much for supporting Fastest Furs. All of your bits and subs go towards supporting the event. So you are making it possible for us to put on future events like this and raise money through donations to stuff like Trans Lifeline. So if you would like to get some incentives in or some donations towards Trans Lifeline, please put !donate in the chat, and I would love, love, love to read your words for our wonderful runners.
You got a couple of
Absolutely.
seconds here because we had...
Oh, got a couple of like I missed the strat. I was supposed to catch that platform, but yeah, this is hard. Yeah. Anything else?
Oh, I've got lots. I have a $20 donation from Rod Shark that came in for the Show the Secret Dog ending. It has no comment, but thank you so much for sending that in, Rod Shark. I also have another $20 donation from Kurjaby. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that. And it says, show secret dogs. We gotta show the dogs. I agree. I need more puppies in my life. So let's see those secret dogs.
Awesome. I fully agree. I have a wonderful Labradoodle at home, and I'd love to see that incentive met for my boy Sammy. So, chat, let's get it.
I was gonna say, let's get that incentive met for Sammy specifically. I would love to hear about your puppies. I want to know more about your dogs.
In the meantime, Surge is here being the world's worst grandpa ever, as per usual. Yeah, this boss is casually tough as well. The idea being that we use the, Magnet Centipede weapon to get that early shot in on the first of 4 cannons.
Break the cannons,
and then, the rest comes down to using Sonic Slicer for hitting him with his weakness.
Yeah, we threw in a bit of fire there because that's a half weakness. Slicer is the main weakness. Ideally, that little mine thing will take the bottom 3 cannons out if you do it exactly correctly, but it's definitely very hard to hit. The Slicer 2, you can do some really neat stuff if you position yourself properly while Surges is in a specific position to hit him with one of the slices going up and then hit him again with the charge slice coming down for that 10 damage over 5. The weaknesses actually do 3, full charge does 5 in most instances, and a lot of these we can actually squeak out double hits if we're cute about it. Speaking of cute, we're going to climb this without the elevator because it's slow. So we're going to do this really neat thing that everybody knows. We all know the neons.
We all know the neon jumping.
The cool part is there's been a developed strat that actually avoids the upper path and allows you to come down from the bottom here. The unfortunate part's a bit difficult to do. Not super difficult, but difficult enough. This lets us get the upgrade. Yeah. We get this nice little upgrade we've been yapping about the whole time. As long as you have everything besides the 0 parts, you get an upgrade here from Dr. Light, which actually gives you the Shoryuken. Another famed Capcom special. Ironic I'm doing commentary since I'm one of the few people that actually does Shoryuken lists, or at least did. Mainly because I was too thick-headed to understand how the input work. But this hits like a truck. I believe it's 16 damage on the first frame, and then it follows up 8 damage each frame after. So it's basically a 3-frame one-shot. So it's technically a one-shot as long as you land it properly.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
It's the only caveat being that, like with the Hadouken in Mega Man X1, you have to be at full health in order to use it, and you also have to know how to do the input as if you're playing Street Fighter, so be very mindful of that. Of course, one of the nice safeties being that we do have 4 sub-tanks, but as with sub-tanks in the Super Nintendo games, those will only collect backup health for you if you are at full health once you collect a health pellet, and since we do a lot of damage boosting in a game like this one, it's a little easier said than done as compared to the PlayStation games, but it's there. It's there all the same. What's that left broken capsule bin for, by the way? I never once understood the purpose of that thing this whole time.
Yeah, as a kid, I was like, I guess this is a different path if we do 100%? Nope. Oh, booty. We unfortunately moved into the hitbox there, got popped for 1 frame. Luckily, if we're feeling a little bit greedy, we can go up to the top and grab a couple of HP to drop in that capsule and refill again.
I'm feeling great.
Yeah. Oh, be greedy, by all means, man.
This is where the Shoryuken list, quote unquote, could theoretically save time. A lot of these bosses you can get double hits on, but remember how we mentioned how so many of these were reset.
Hold. Dang it. Okay, he didn't dash.
Oh, shame. Oh yeah, that's a hard one to buffer. I even forget you can do that, because a lot of people just ignore it and go for the Shoryuken after.
Yeah, we glazed a little bit over the wheeled gator fight and the mentality behind it. Yeah, this boss will choose to dive whenever he wants to, and it's not fun. His name is Wheel Gator, and he likes to make an announcement, and it's so very, very crude for the stream.
As you can see, he has 1 HP. He's actually so low on the screen that if you just roll in there and Shoryuken, you're just going to get 1, maybe 2 frames. So we need to... Go ahead.
The intended strat was to buffer in a chain, dashing into him and chain him 3 more times, and from there go put a Shoryuken, and that would kill. But I got unlucky and X didn't dash.
This game has a lot of extremely tight buffers and inputs. It's impressive what a lot of top runners can do, and even this is well outside of my skill set.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm not feeling confident to run this game yet myself. But, man, when you know just how the nuances play out, how all the platforming goes about, you're pretty much chilling. Because one thing to also understand is that, well, first off, this room now has ceiling spikes. Be very careful. And more importantly, with this game being the sequel to X1, some of the movement options have changed ever so slightly. Some of you may know that, in X1 you had to get the leg parts from Chill Penguin in order to get the dash in the first place, but another tiny little detail being that wall jump kicks with dash momentum were ones that you had to press the dash button to do constantly. In the case of X2 and X3 and whatever's beyond that, you can just hold the button and it'll keep it going. Small bits and pieces like that.
Nice. I almost thought we were a little bit too close there. Yeah, the walk there. For some reason, this room just doesn't lock you, so you can just walk as long as you're holding a direction when you start this room.
Yeah. Not too much to go over from here. Oh, okay, I guess I would say, did I already talk about the Ride Chaser from Overdrive Ostrich? Actually, I think I did after the stage.
Yeah.
Just a little. Oh, I guess I could make a quick shout out, though, to Mega Man X8 16-bit for bringing it back, though. Much better than ever at that. Really nice fan game. Please check it out. It's free.
Yeah, the last true Mega Man X game.
Yeah. Oh, come on. All due respect to the later games, of course. But, yeah, no, I understand that sentiment. A fun fact about Morph Moth, by the way, apparently you can let him transform if you just wait it out. Apparently there's an achievement for that in the X Legacy collection, or so I believe.
The frame
nice
perfect
tipper.
Shoryuken!
GG!
Let's go!
Oh, that is so pop-off worthy.
Yeah, that was sick.
Chat, give it up.
there's going to be a nice chunk of damage if we hadn't landed that. Oof. That was really spicy.
While we still have a little bit of boss rush left, Ophelia, this is probably a good time to catch up on any and all donations.
Oh,
2 bosses.
not a problem, not a problem. I actually have a couple of ones that are coming in. It's absolutely fantastic to see this. I have one from Corgiba, and they say, gotta get that pupper ending. My 2 Bernese mountain dogs, and Corgi would never let me live it down if we don't. And I've known enough Corgis to know that that is absolutely true. So thank you so very much for that donation, Corgiba. I really appreciate that.
Tail Troll, the Shoryuken just doesn't come out. That's the thing with Shoryuken. It's really cool, but the input is so hard that sometimes you just miss it, and then that happens. I played it safe. I didn't want to use my sub tank yet. I'll save it for the final stage.
The big one is we're talking about like old fighting games versus modern ones. So like the inputs are a lot more strict. Like if you're playing like Street Fighter 6, the inputs are a lot more generous than the stuff.
Also, by the way, real quick, the final stage is the very same as Centipede stage. So you can select.
Shout outs.
You can select Centipede stage after the boss rush, and it's the final stage.
Trust, we're definitely going to the final boss. Trust.
For sure.
I do have to say that X2 is functionally a 100% category to some extent, and it's one of the few ones that doesn't require any sort of revisits. Unfortunately, with like the 100% category, you have to fight the counter hunters, which are very brutal, but it's also a really interesting run to watch. Also, this doesn't really lock you out of movement until you hit a certain spot. So if you Shuriken at the right time, you can get halfway across the room.
So this is the major difference here. We're just gonna give a quick moment here.
I'm good.
16 frames times 2. Let's go.
Yep. That's a fight, all right. And that's one of the benefits of running the good ending category, the fact that you can just outright skip that. So you do get to experience all the fights, the optional fights against Violin, Surgis, and Agile, all of whom in the late game just absolutely get joked on. But also to note, that category has it where you got to be mindful of not wanting to game over to those boss fights, otherwise the game will lock you out of them afterward.
Yeah, so we did a little neat thing there, getting halfway across the room, but we also shot Zero to make him guard, so that we could buffer the Shoryuken as soon as he dropped his guard, and Wolverine is no more.
Wolverine is no more.
GG.
Sigma cosplaying. First it was a Jedi, now it was Wolverine, and then it's Captain America. Shout out to Z-Wing.
Yeah, he's just...
There's still one more phase? Hold?
And time will be on the final hit, by the way.
Oh, we didn't get
one
one
more?
shot.
And
there we go. GG.
GG.
Yeah, so the Shoryuken doesn't insta this guy because he actually has 64 HP, not 32. So you have to get a lot of frames of that Shoryuken in, which is why we wait for him to pull up to the top there. Ideally, you hit him as he's rising so that you get all the hits in. I believe I might be a little bit wrong with that, and it's the other way around. You want him at the top and then hit him.
Wireframe Sigma go. Wow!
Yeah.
Really? Wow, that was fun.
Yeah, it was. It was a very good run.
Really nice opener.
Just 10 seconds underestimate. Heck yeah.
I know you were worried about that, Flen. I'm very happy for you, man.
I got worried about it when I died in Centipede stage by the block. I got squished, unfortunately.
Rock, I mean, there's a reason Rock by the Block is a meme, yeah?
But yeah, that was Mega Man X2. Thank you all for having me here.
That was a great
one. What an absolutely wonderful way to start the marathon. Thank you so much for that, Flen. Where can the wonderful people find you if they would like to see more of your amazing energy and your amazing speedruns?
You can catch me at twitch.tv/Flannels, just right there. I'm usually live on like Sunday through Thursday, usually at around, say, I think it's 4 Eastern time, 4 p.m. Eastern time. So I would love to have anybody there to hang out, have some fun, have some chat.
Awesome.
And do y'all have any other shout outs that you'd love to do?
Yes, I think it's only fair that we shout out the Mega Man X speedrunning community as per usual. Folks, if you would like to check out our various Mega Man speedrunning communities, whether you would like to run the main series games of any sub-series of the Blue Bomber, or even just the side games that nobody usually knows about, be it the Mega Man and Base for Wonder Swan, or the extreme games like Ya Boy here, or anything like that, fan games included, we got you. It's MegaManLeaderboards.net. And you also have an About tab, which will bring you to the various Discord links of the several communities. We are more than happy to help you learn whatever games you wish to, and we have various leaderboards for the different versions as well, whether you run original hardware, X Collection, X Legacy Collection, we got you. And thank you to Fastest First for having us. I always like to say, let's raise money, no matter how big or small your donations are. Because Trans Lifeline, we're going to be helping a lot of lives this way. So let's get it high as we possibly can, because we're just getting started, baby. Trans rights.
Trans rights. Thank you so much for that. Thank you all so much for that run. That was absolutely fantastic. Again, that was Flen running Mega Man X2 Any%.
Thank you.